You know, the hardest part of building a business in a small city? It's not the money, it's not the market. It's that nobody around you believes it's possible. And some days, even you don't believe it's possible. In this video, I'm gonna talk about everything that nobody talks about, the real problems, the real advantages, and one mindset that changed everything for me. Hi, I'm Shivam, I'm 24, and I run two companies from a small town in West Bengal. The first one is Trio Healthcare, which is a pharma company, and the second one is Zoom Doctor, which is a doctor discovery platform. So when I talk about building from a tier 2 city, it's not theory. This is my actual life. The first problem that small companies like us face is to hire good talent. Skilled people are almost never staying at their hometowns. They're always leaving for big cities like Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, because that is where they get great opportunities for themselves. So the only option that companies like us are left with is to hire freshers and then spend an enormous amount of time training them for the job. Now this poses two problems. Time is the most valuable resource while building a company. And when we spend such a humongous time just in training people, that is a very valuable resource being wasted. And the second problem is that after being trained by us and knowing how to do the work, usually after a period of 6 months to 1 year, these people usually leave our company because since now they know how to do the work, they are being offered better salaries with other companies or they are being poached by big companies and they leave us just to start the whole process once again. This is a very big waste of our time. The second problem we face is that of credibility. Even after all the documentation, the government verifications, the certificates, the products being verified, when our clients, partners, or business associates hear the name of the city that we are building from and they do not know the name, they inherently start thinking that we are fake. So we need to work 10x harder just to prove them that we are real. This makes scaling the business very hard because if your clients think you're fake before they even start talking to you, that is a real problem that you're facing. The next two problems are a bit personal, but let's talk about it. The first thing is loneliness. When you're building in a small town, no one in your friend circle is building a company. And cherry on the cake of disappointments, when you open LinkedIn, you see founders of various backgrounds doing meetups, they are having mentorship sessions and whatnot. They are having a network. But when you're building from a small town, you lack that network effect. There is just no one around you who can help you with your problems, understand your situation, and give you some consolation and possibly motivate you. So, this is a big lack when you're building from a small town. And the last one is perception. This is a very personal thing and a very big point of self-doubt because sometimes you feel that if I could have established my company from a big city like Bangalore, maybe the perception of my company would have been different. Maybe the customer profiles that I get now can be different. Maybe how people look at my company, how people look at you as a founder could have been different. But you are sitting here alone building something that maybe nobody cares about, and this brings a very big self-doubt in your mind. But here's what I've realized after building two companies from here. The cost of building a company in a small town is significantly to the power 10 lower in comparison to building a company in a large metro city. There is low rent, low salaries, low living expenses and low everything. That directly means more experiments, more time to grow your company and more runway before you need external money. This is a massive leverage while building from a small town. You get almost all the resources but at a cheaper cost. So the cost of building your company is slashed down. So while a founder building in a metro city can do 2 to 3 experiments in a quarter, you can do 10. You can hire more people, you can delegate more tasks, and you can get the job done way faster. The next thing is almost zero competition. While all the big daddy startups and founders are fighting to get their share in the metro cities, there is a massive gap left in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 and everything below towns. That gives you a very big opportunity to crack the market, gain maximum market share and build a strong and long lasting business out of there. Branding in small towns is relatively easy because people are simple. You show them one thing 50 times and they remember the name of your brand. You constantly reach out to them every single time in a week and they know you and your brand. So branding is very easy in small towns in compared to large metro cities because there is less noise and people are simple and people are ready to adapt to new things that solve their problems. The third advantage is that your story is your content. While building a startup in a large town, everybody is having all the resources. Everybody is having startup capital, VC money, everybody is having good talent, high paying customers and all. But when you're building in a small town, you are deprived of almost everything. There is lesser money, the quality of your customers is significantly lower. There is no one to help you, no one to mentor you, no external money, no VC money, nothing. So this brings struggle. And struggle is what attracts people. When you share your story and your struggle over social media or building your company, you build trust. People start believing in you, people start trusting in you, your company and your product. And soon the people who are watching your content become your customers. And the last thing is that hunger doesn't leave you. While building in a small town, there is no safety net, there is no mentor, there is no guide, there is no backup plan. You just work differently. Inherently, you somehow know that either this or death. This changes the whole equation of how you work. For a long time, I was building from Berhampore. But I was mentally waiting to arrive somewhere, waiting to move, waiting to get to the real place. And this mindset costed me a lot of things. Stop treating your city as a constraint. Start treating it as your identity. Your city is your story. Your story is your brand. And your brand is your distribution. When I share stories like this of building companies from a small town, Strio Healthcare gets customer across India. And Zoom Doctor doesn't need a fancy office in Bangalore to serve doctors. Your story is your brand is your distribution. If you're watching this from a city like Asansol or Nagpur or Nasik or Gorakhpur, this is for you. The city doesn't build your company, you do. So make sure you do not make your city your constraint. You treat it as your identity and you document and share everything online. Every story, every success, every failure, whatever. Let people know you, let people know the person behind the brand, and this is how trust is built. Don't delay the certifications. Get the documentation done, get all the certifications, get everything done to make your business more credible than anyone. Because people are going to call you fake. You are going to face this problem. So please, get all the documentations and certifications done. Build credibility as fast as possible and as officially as possible. And start building your network online. You can use LinkedIn, Twitter, even Instagram, whatever platform that you choose, but build your network online. To build a network, you do not need to visit a fancy startup meeting or a founders meet or entrepreneurship events. You can do it online sitting at your home if you're dedicated and passionate enough. So build your network. If you're building from a city that people underestimate, comment the name of your city below. I want to know where you're building from. And also subscribe because I'm going to document my entire journey of building.
Zoom doctor, find your treatment today. Zoom doctor, the right doctor is just one tap away.